Hi guys, thank you all for coming once again. I hope you're enjoying your lunch. As you know, we've got a lunch session we're really looking forward to. We're very proud to have Rob Melendez, all the way from New Mexico in the States. Rob was a chair of the SOE of the AAOYO committee, his old school chair actually, and we're so proud to have him to discuss social media during our lounge session.
Thank you so much, Andrew. Good afternoon. How's everyone doing today? You guys doing okay? Excellent, excellent. I'm very excited to be here to talk to you about social media guru tips for young ophthalmologists. So raise your hand if you're a young ophthalmologist here. Okay, excellent. Good. Then you're in the right spot. Any old ophthalmologists? My hand is up. I see another hand. Okay, great. So I'm actually married 25 years. My wife and I are celebrating our 25th wedding anniversary here. We also have 3 kids and 2 grandchildren. So I'm not a young ophthalmologist anymore. I just play one on TV. So I'm also with the American Academy of Ophthalmology. I'm the Secretary for Online Education, oversee IWiki and the One Network. I'm also on the Board of Directors for the Academy Ophthalmic Executives. I'm also a cataract surgeon, comprehensive ophthalmologist in New Mexico. I perform over 1,700 cataract surgeries per year, very, very busy, high volume practice, and also teach at our medical school as well and mentor medical students. So let's dive in and talk about social media guru tips, and let's talk about our agenda. But beforehand, let me just give you some financial disclosures. So what's our agenda for today? We're going to talk about why should I care about social media. A lot of people out there say, who cares? Who cares about social media? Well, you need to care because your patients care. Next, we'll talk about your online reputation or your digital footprint. It's out there. If you're a resident or a fellow, you should start right now, and I'll explain that, why it's important to start now. And then we'll talk about some ideal social media platforms to spend time and money, and then some examples of some social media pages. We'll mainly talk primarily about Facebook and Twitter, but if you have questions on other social media platforms, I'll be happy to discuss those as well, talk about what to post on there, and when to actually post on social media. So first question, why should I participate in social media? So first of all, what is social media? Social media is essentially just connecting with other people. So when we walk into the exam room, we normally connect with our patients, right? We ask them, how are you? How was your day? Have you been on any trips? You're trying to connect with patients. Social media is just an extension of our interactions with our patients every day. But the main reasons why people choose to participate in social media is, 1, they just want to share stuff with their friends. That's the number 1. 2, they want to share information with their patients. Or 3, they want to share information with the public. These are not your patients, but you perhaps want to educate people in the public. So I want to challenge everyone in this room to pick one area to start today on social media. And what are those areas that you can choose from? 1, you can educate patients in the public. That's one area that you can get started today. 2, you can educate other physicians, other ophthalmologists, other medical specialties. So for instance, there's a lot of family practice doctors, internal medicine doctors that need new information about the eye. You can create a social media page to educate them as well. Or you can do both. So there's 2 broad categories that you can educate people on social media. You can educate patients, or you can educate physicians. So those are one of the 2 areas I want you to ask yourself. Do I care about patients, yes or no? Does everyone care about patients? Of course we do, right? And then of course we care about our colleagues, right? But for those of you who are overachievers and you want to do both, you want to educate patients and physicians, that's even better. But I would start with focusing on one of these 2 at the beginning. So my question to you is, where does your online reputation begin? What do you think? Let's hear some answers. Google, okay. Facebook private account, okay, great answers. I heard Facebook, I heard Google. Actually, your online reputation begins offline. And what do I mean by that? What I mean by that is offline is when you're in the clinic, in your community, and you're in the operating room. Places like that, when you're on call, when you get the phone call at 2 in the morning, right, and you're grumpy and you're irritated, that's part of your reputation, which can then go online if somebody complains about you, right? So, but you got to be in control of your reputation offline first before we even get to online. So if you have a great attitude offline in the clinic, in the operating room, you treat the nurses very nicely, they love you, people are going to know that, they're going to remember that, and they're going to start rating you online. And patients are already doing that. Whether you realize this or not, they will find you and they'll give you 4 stars or 2 stars. 2 stars. He or she interrupted me. He or she listened to me. He or she educated me very, very well. They're going to give you 5 stars, and that's great for your online reputation. So there's the 3 A's I want you to focus on to build your online reputation, and this is big. So if you're taking notes, write this down. So your offline reputation, let's say you're in the exam room in the clinic, the most important thing is your aptitude, what you know, your knowledge base. You're an expert at something, whether it's pediatric ophthalmology or glaucoma. You want to know your craft very, very well. Secondly, your attitude. You want to act your best. We're not perfect, but we want to act our best because patients are watching us and looking at us. And then finally, your appearance. You want to look your best. So you only have one opportunity to make the first impression. So I love to dress up, but this is just like a cake. So I'm like a cake, all right? So let's talk about 2 parts of a cake for just a moment. You have the cake and then the icing and the frosting, right? So who likes to eat frosting? Raise your hand. It's good, right? Right? But too much frosting, what happens when you eat too much frosting? You get fat and you get sick. You start throwing up, right? It's too much. So you don't want to just look good, right? You have to have the cake, the substance, which is your aptitude. Okay, that has to be the most important thing, and everyone's already here, obviously, doing that. But then your appearance is just the outer shell. So you want to look good, iron your clothes, put a nice dress or a new suit on. So personally, I wear a suit every day to work. I take my jacket off, and then I put on a lab coat that I get it dry cleaned with extra starch on it. Extra starch. The creases are amazing. Then I roll up the sleeves just a little bit so they can see my cufflinks. Can you see what those cufflinks are? What is it?
What do you mean? Oh, Batman.
It's Batman, okay? So if you ever had a choice to be Superman or Batman, what would it be? Batman, that's correct. So my cool cufflinks, this is in honor of Adam West, who just passed away at age 88. Let's have a moment of silence. Thank you. No, I'm a big Batman fan. So patients are searching for you online. And you're a resident, a fellow, they may not be searching for you right now. Some are. But I can't tell you, over the last 5 years, these numbers keep growing. Patients like, oh, you're going to send me to a specialist, a glaucoma specialist or a retina specialist. They're going to find out some information about you. The first thing they're going to see is your website. They're going to see how many stars that you have, 4 out of 5 stars, or are they going to see two stars? So if they see 2 stars out of 5, their initial impression is not very good. So you better wow them in the clinic. So how do you wow them? Your aptitude, your attitude, and your appearance. Okay? So if you walk in and you don't necessarily have to wear a tie. So if you're more comfortable not wearing a tie, that's fine. But still look nice. Okay? Shave, maybe comb your hair, things like that. Some basics, So I want you to be in control of your online reputation. I want you to start now. Know what is online about you and try to control it. How do you do this? What I want you to do is Google your name. Type in your name. And some people have like 3 to 4 different names. It's weird, right? Some people have nicknames. So type in several names and see what comes up online. Raise your hand if you've ever done that. You're all narcissistic with your hands up right now. All of you. My hand's up. I'm just saying. So do that because patients are doing that. And if you're finding some review sites with 2 stars, then you need some help. I'm going to tell you what to do about that in just a second. Try to use one consistent name across all social media platforms. This was recommended by Dr. Peter Karth, a young ophthalmologist in the States, and he's also on the YO committee as well. So where do I start, you're probably asking? Where do I start? I've spoke to some of you already. I met Richard, and some people are already starting in a certain way. Some people already have a Facebook page. So I'm gonna give you some tips on where to start. The first thing is you want an impressive website, a very nice website. So if you're in private practice, you're gonna have to buy that and create it. But typically, if you join a practice, they're already gonna have a website for you. So that's probably gonna be done for you. So this step's probably already done for you. The second building block is I want you to create a professional Facebook page. A professional Facebook page is different than your personal one. And I'll show you an example of that as well. Next, you need to pick 3 or 4 review sites. So like for instance, Yelp. You have Yelp in Europe? Yeah. Yes? What other review sites do you have in Europe? Say that again, please.
I want great care.
I want great care. Okay. Doc Planner. Okay. So these are important review sites for people in Europe. So I would recommend just printing a nice card with those names on it, different stacks, and if you have some happy patients, give them to them. Did you enjoy your experience? How was your surgery outcome? Thank you so much for taking time to write a review on me because patients are actually looking for that. So thank you for that. Most people won't do it. The only people that want to write a review are the unhappy people and the extremely happy people. So the people that you wow offline in the clinic will be the ones that will write that for you. When you come in late at night to see an emergency at 10 at night, when you see them like a week later and their corneal ulcers healed up, that would be a good time to bring that card out because they're so grateful that this young doctor saved my vision, okay? We're doing this for one reason. That's because we care. We're physicians. We care about people. There's some open seats here in the front. Please come to the front. Thank you. So some other examples, just remember these are the top 3 sites that patients will see when they're searching for your name online. They're gonna see your website come up, your Facebook page, only if you create a professional one, not your personal one. It has to be a professional Facebook page. When you go on Facebook, there's a button there that says Pages, and it says Create a Page. You can do it on your phone or you can do it on your desktop or laptop. Very simple. And then you just put in the name that you want them to find you by. And then you of course, want to identify those review sites. Oftentimes, there was a study put out by Stanford, and they showed that if a doctor has, like 1 or 2 stars, that's terrible, right? It's not necessarily real. It was only like 1 person that wrote a review on that doctor, like 1 star. You look really bad, okay? But the study showed that you actually want a couple of negatives in there. You don't want 5 stars. You got 5 stars. Wow, this guy's perfect. No one's perfect. You want like a 4.7, 4.8. You want a few negatives sprinkled in with a lot of positives, okay? And most people, this is still very new, most doctors only have 10 to 20 total reviews on each of these sites. And it's normal to have just 1 or 2 negatives, and that's okay. But if you start to get a lot more negatives, then you got to go back home and ask yourself, what's my aptitude? What's my attitude? Maybe I have a bad attitude in the clinic. Maybe I'm grumpy. Maybe I interrupt too quickly. Do you guys interrupt patients? Yes, my hand's up. 7 seconds or less. And I don't know what it is in Europe, but I'm like 4 seconds, right? Because we can look in the eye and tell people what they have, even without them talking to us. Where's our pediatric ophthalmologist in here? Right? You can just look in there and typically tell. You don't even have to do a history typically, right? I'm halfway joking there. Other examples of sites that you can use is LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. And I'll touch on those briefly. But you really want to focus on these 3 at the beginning. So let's go through some examples here. So a website. You want a great-looking website with a great-looking photo. You don't have to be good-looking. These are examples of not-so-good-looking people, and that's okay. And if you're not good looking, then you can do some Photoshop. I think obviously Andrew did some Photoshopping here. He does not look that good, right? So you want a professional photo. Try to use one consistent name. So for instance, Mr. Anthony here, that's a long title. Do you think patients know that he has a PhD? Probably not. They don't even know what this stands for. So don't put that in your title. Maybe he goes by Tony. I don't know that if he does. Does Anthony go by Tony at all? Raise your hand if you know Anthony. Okay, two hands are up, Anthony, for the recording. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Next, I want you to purchase your URL name on GoDaddy.com. Why? It's cheap. It's like $3.99 US dollars. It's cheap. If you don't do this, there are companies right now that are finding all the doctors and they're buying your name. drrobmelendez.com, drrobmelendez.org, drrobmelendez.net. They're buying all those up so that when I really need it in 5 years or 10 years, they're going to sell it to me for more than $3.99. So it's cheap. So you can start buying it now, Rob Melendez, like mine's drrobmelendez.com. It's basically a blog. I own it. I don't put a whole lot on it, but I own that URL name. So if someone tries to search for it, I own it. Yes, especially, that's a great point, Andrew. And if your name is very common, you better buy it now. I met Richard over here, and his name's not that common, so he's good. He probably can actually wait. What if you're not married? Are you looking for a husband right now? I mean, I'm not a date. I mean, no, I'm kidding. Sure, that's a good point. So if your maiden name is going to change, maybe you can anticipate that and buy several names. No, just excellent question. Excellent question. So you'll just have to wait and see. Okay. Any single men in here? Anybody? Just raise your hand so we know who's available. I apologize for that. I wasn't trying to embarrass you. Very good. So andrewscott.com. Love this voice. I love his accent, right? So Andrew Scott's a very common, so it's probably, yeah, very cool, very cool. So have you bought your URL name yet? No, it's like $3.99. You should buy it. Seriously, it's cheap. It's $3.99. Oh, he probably already bought it. But I'm sure there's Andrew Scott MD or Dr. Andrew Scott or Andrew Scott PhD, things like that. So let's move on here. So next, I want you to create a professional Facebook page once your website's already made, and most of you are going to join a practice or an academic institution that the website's already done. They'll just add your web page to that site so that typically you don't have to mess with that. But your professional Facebook page is easy. You can create that today, get it started, just post a little bit here and there, let it grow slowly. Okay, maybe your mom might like it and your aunt, and that's about it. But over time, patients are going to find you, and every time that you post something here, it increases your page rank on Google and other search engines, the more information you put on your professional Facebook page. So this is mine, Eye Associates of New Mexico. Mine is Dr. Robert Melendez, Eye Associates of New Mexico. Patients find me on here. It's crazy. And then they send me questions. Doctor, I have this red eye. I'm like, I don't offer any medical advice online. Zero medical advice. If someone has a medical question or problem, you have them go to the emergency room or you call our office to come in. This is not the purpose of your professional Facebook page. So why can I not use my regular Facebook page? That's probably what you're asking, right? Do not use your regular Facebook page. That's for your friends and your family, and I want you to change your privacy settings to just friends only. There's a public option, so if you go out on a big party or you're doing something that doesn't look right, it might be okay, but the appearance of it doesn't look right. That can be spread everywhere. So your regular Facebook page does not allow you to create coupons, boost your posts, grow likes, analyze demographical data, promote your page, or post increase awareness. So for instance, if you develop a professional page, you can create coupons. So 10% off LASIK surgery or Botox or anything like that. Boost your post means when you type in a post with a picture, on a professional page, you can spend $5, $10 for more eyes to actually see that post. It's called boosting. And then the third option you have is you actually grow your likes. You can expose your page to more people on Facebook, and you can choose areas of a city or a state or a country that just certain people will see it. You can analyze demographical data with your professional page. You can find out how many men or women are on your page. You can see the age group on your who like your page. You can't do that with your personal page. And I'll give you an example in a second. Then you can, of course, promote your page or post to increase awareness. This next building block are the review sites. And we heard some examples of some review sites here in Europe, and you're probably more knowledgeable about those specific names. In the US, these are our most common ones: Health Grades, Vitals, and Yelp, and there's some other ones. Now, these sites, you want to ask patients to review you. So make a nice fancy card, thick paper stock. Don't make it black and white. Make it easy for them to find with the website and say, would you mind reviewing me online? And oftentimes patients will do that. If you're genuine and tell them, I'm really trying to improve my online reputation, and patients are trying to find me online. You're the generation. You are the generation that patients are on their phones looking you up. And you're leaders, so here's your opportunity to start leading and start creating that digital footprint today. You can, bless you, you can also use an online reputation company, for instance, Credential Protection. This was started by an ophthalmologist, Dr. Andy Doan in California. Great guy. He's one of my business partners, but they actually can do everything for you when it comes to online reputations. So let's go ahead and switch gears now. Now that we've created a professional Facebook page, what should you put on your Facebook page? So raise your hand if you have a professional Facebook page. Okay, I see 0 hands. Okay, that's okay. So we actually have a company called Social Media Page Creators that I own, my family owns, and our little tagline is to educate and engage. That's what we do. We want to educate people and then engage them. So for instance, you can write something like, Dr. Williams is attending the SOE conference and is learning the latest technological advances in eye surgery. Include a cool photo there. Patients love that. Like, wow, my doctor is learning the latest techniques. I like this doctor. Okay? Let's say a patient is trying to choose between 2 LASIK surgeons. Any LASIK surgeons in here in the future that want to be LASIK surgeons? Okay? Plastic surgeons. Okay? We still got 3 shallow people in the room. Okay, good. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that, okay? They're the most fun, by the way, in case you guys want to hang out with them, okay? So you want a nice photo, and patients really, really like that. You want to avoid family photos. Do not put any family photos or anything personal, really, on your professional page if you can help it. Do not friend patients online. Do not friend patients online. I'm going to say that again. So patients always go to my personal Facebook page and they want to be my friend. Deny. Deny, deny, deny. And then when I see them in the clinic, like, oh, I asked you to be my friend on Facebook, but you haven't accepted it yet. I say, oh, that's because I created a page just for you. It's my professional Facebook page. Oh, great, thank you. And a professional Facebook page is open to everybody. It's not private. You can't lock it down. You can't change the setting. It's a public page that anyone in the world can view. So you're going to be very selective in what you put on this page, right? I'm sorry? It's free. Yeah, this is a free Facebook page. That's why you can make it today. Okay? And it's very simple. Raise your hand if you're not on Facebook. Raise your hand if you're not on Facebook. 1, 2. Only 3 hands. The rest of the group here is on Facebook. Are you active on Facebook? Raise your hand if you're active on Facebook. Okay, you post at least once a week. Okay. Raise your hand if you post every day. Okay, my hand's up. Every 10 minutes? My hand's still up? Okay, great. All right. And then do not give medical advice. I told you that already. Do not give medical advice online. Question?
What about like, opinions? Say you're attending a conference. With your attending a conference kind of bias, people might read into it that, oh, okay, you believe that type of surgery is better than this type of surgery or something. Do you have to like remain neutral, I guess?
So the question is, when you attend a conference, is there a problem with with bias, the perception of people thinking that you're biased towards one thing or the other. I do recommend trying to keep things neutral. I mean, it's usually like I'll share things that I'm speaking at the academy on this topic. I don't endorse a certain pharmaceutical company. I'm not a consultant of a company, but I can see how that can be an issue, though, and that's a really good point as well. And typically you can read through that. Yes, ma'am. What about bad opinions? You should accept, you should just like crave that you want a lot of bad opinions on Facebook. I'll tell you why. Oftentimes when I talk to businesses, they always say, I don't want to go on Facebook page. I don't want to create a Facebook page because I don't want to see bad comments or reviews on there. And I tell them, you need to embrace bad comments. What? Yes, you need to embrace it. And the reason why is, if someone is complaining about the wait time, then you should look at your processes and figure out how to improve your efficiency and your throughput. Maybe there is a problem. So and then next, you want to wait at least 24 hours to respond to the negative comment. 24 hours, wait. Because the first 24 hours, you're angry, right? And you're gonna respond incorrectly. So one of my mentors shared that with me. And it also goes for emails. One of your friends sends you an email that makes you upset. What should you do? Wait 24 hours and then respond. And then you respond something like this. Thank you so much for your comment. Because you're calm at this point, right? You know, and you don't want to make excuses. Sometimes it's legitimate. So, for instance, Dr. So-and-so had several emergencies and was called away for emergency surgery. You don't want to give out any personal information, like, you know, he saved a child's vision, but it's something like that. And we really appreciate your insight. We're always striving to improve in how we take care of our patients. How does that sound? As opposed to like, hey, we're always running late. I'm so busy because I'm so good. That's why we're so busy. Or you don't want to say anything like that. It comes across very, very unprofessional. Did that answer your question? Yeah. And if you're a terrible doctor, then you're going to get a lot of bad reviews, right? There's not much you can do about it at that point. And I suspect everyone that's here, because you took time out of your life to come to this today, and I hope.
I just wanted to say that from time to time there are some patients that are in general they are unsatisfied with everything in life.
Yes.
They definitely gonna leave the comments.
Yes. Yes.
So
So
collect the bad comments.
so on Facebook, there's basically two sections that a patient can write something. One section you can delete it, the other one you cannot. Under the reviews, like number of stars, but under the actual post, you can actually delete those. Sometimes we will delete those because of it doesn't. It's really bad though. They're just upset. It's not helpful. And if need be, like I want you to call us and we want to take care of you and address this personally. You can say something like that as well. So this is my personal Facebook page. Just took this picture yesterday. This is my wife and I celebrating our anniversary. We went to Asunta Madre restaurant, Italian restaurant. It's very good. Excelente. Do you like my Spanish? I'm working on it. It's good. So this is my professional Facebook page. What's different? It's just a different picture. But this is just all professional. It's educational, stuff about the eye. There might be a little thing about going to a conference, and I'll show you in a second. Oh my gosh, SOE conference. Wow, that came up fast. So I just posted this 24 minutes ago before I started. Speaking on educating patients through social media for the young ophthalmologist, Barcelona, Spain. Okay, and does anyone know Dr. Andy Lee from the States? Andy Lee is an amazing speaker. Okay, who I try to copy, but obviously I'm not that good. That's okay. But Andy and I are very good friends, and he always wears black, like Batman, right? So I'm just saying. Oh, is that what it is, Star Wars? He's a Star Wars fan? Okay, well, I'm a Batman fan. He's a Star Wars fan. But see the little shadow running through me? I'm just saying, there's always hints everywhere. So another example from a company called South Texas Eye Institute in San Antonio says Dr. Martin and the team from Selena Rotary Club performed 50 cataracts in 3 days in Nicola, Costa Rica. What do patients think when they read this? What do you think? I want to hear some comments. Yes. That was fast. That's an interesting observation. Okay, I can do 50 in one day, so that's not that fast. So I'm kidding. It's a joke. I was trying to impress you. Obviously, I did it. Simon? Charity, yes. What does charity mean? What's another name for charity? Okay? Love, amor. She loves her patients. And we started this presentation about we are physicians. Why are we physicians? Because we care. And we like nice cars. But anyways, no, I'm kidding. So shallow. Some of you guys are shallow. So others are like, I don't want a nice car. So it doesn't pay to have a car here, right? Because there's such great transportation. It's amazing here. So yes, this demonstrates that Dr. Martin really cares. And she does, though. She's not doing this just because. She does care. And she has a great, beautiful practice. She's opening up another office. Question?
How about the fact there's a picture of a charity patient on Facebook? I agree with that.
So is it ethical? That's a different lecture. But from a HIPAA standpoint, you cannot share any photo or private information about a patient unless you get their consent. So she actually got a consent to take pictures. And it's in Costa Rica. So I don't know if she did, but in America, you have to. You have to get consent. Can I share your picture? And a lot of patients are like, yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, please. I'm going to be a superstar. So what I want you to look at now, we're going to take this Facebook thing up to another level. It's more than just posting. If you were just to post a picture, guess how many people would like it? Besides your mom. And yourself, that's 2. Right? And then your Facebook manager in your clinic, that's 3. Who cares? You want it to extend beyond just 3 people. So I want you to look at this here. It says 2,525 people were reached. That's how many people saw this. How many people liked it? 94, 95, 96. We'll take this one out because it doesn't count because the company liked itself. So 95 likes, 1 person shared it with $2.62 left. So they actually paid money for people to see this. If you don't pay a little money to Facebook, then not many people will actually see this. So this is like selling a house and putting a for sale sign in front of the house and not advertising. So if you only put a for sale sign out in front of your house, who's going to see it? Your neighbors. Your neighbors already have a house, okay? They don't need to buy a house. You need to put it on billboards and magazines, and that's what Facebook advertising is. You pay Facebook. Facebook puts this picture. It just recirculates it, okay? So more and more people see it. And you can actually choose who sees it. You can say, I just want females to see this, just males, certain age groups, a certain city within 25 miles of the city. I mean, you could be that detailed as to who sees this. It's amazing. So a little higher powered here. I'm going to just show you a couple details here. This ad, they spent $10. So they spent $7.38 so far, just over 7 days. But you're targeting men and women aged 18 to 65 who live in one location. And the city that she chose was the city that she works in San Antonio. So those are the people that are actually seeing this. So if they're looking for an ophthalmologist, a cataract, a LASIK surgeon, which she is, they're going to say, gosh, I like that person. I like that person. And you can't do this on your website quickly. It's difficult to update your website for those of you who know about coding and web design. It takes a lot of work. You got to send an email to your web designer, and that takes 2 weeks for them to make a change. Facebook, you can post it immediately and then spend $5, $10 for more people to actually see it. One other quick example, See Clear. You can see Clear with South Texas Eye Institute, get $2,020 off LASIK for a limited time. That's a big savings. It's a lot of savings. 125 people liked it. 2,100 people saw it. And they spent, $12.79 left. They spent $37 to get that many likes, okay? But this translates into business. So for those of you who are going to buy a business, are going to be a business owner like myself, you want your return on your investment. So you're going to spend money on advertising for more people to see what's on Facebook to ultimately call you and say, yes, I want the LASIK, I want Botox, I want whatever service that you have to offer. Now, you can also choose certain audiences, as I shared before. So this is in San Antonio, age 20 to 60 to 55, because this is the LASIK population, right? Age 20 to 55 typically. You know, cataracts more like 60 and above. So she's not wasting her advertising on 13-year-olds. And Facebook does not allow you to advertise any medical products or services to under age 18 anyways. So if you try to set that to 13, it would block you. They'll send you a message and says denied. You need to recreate or edit your ad. And here's the city of, in this case, it was Corpus Christi and San Antonio within 50-mile radius. You can adjust this too, but you can adjust to any city you want, Barcelona or London. Very, very simple. It works around the entire world. You want just men, or maybe you're just doing a Botox campaign for just women, and your picture is of a woman. Only women on Facebook will see that ad. Or you want just men or both. So let's go through some examples of Facebook. Question. Do I think it's ethical for a physician to be advertising his or her services on Facebook? That's the question. So 20 years ago in America, no. I mean, you would never see a physician put a billboard up or advertise. What I want you to try to focus on is you're trying to educate patients. That's the most important thing. So you can think about it as advertising, or you can think about it as I'm just trying to educate my patients. I'm personally not a big fan, and our practice doesn't advertise. We're so busy, we don't need to. But I would focus on educating patients first. You know, educate them about the benefits of LASIK surgery. Maybe you've had you have issues with your contacts because you have dry eyes or something like that, and you might be a better candidate for LASIK or something to that effect. But that's another question, and you'll have to answer that internally to yourself. And there's certain guidelines that the American Academy of Ophthalmology offers to ophthalmologists. You cannot promote yourself to be like, I'm the #1 LASIK surgeon in the world. I'm the best. I'm the top this. Yeah, but they get in trouble for that.
On the plane, I remember seeing one whole page.
Yes.
This is the top orthopedic surgeon.
So they send me emails all the time. They pay to do that. It's like $5,000 per month to have your photo up there as the top LASIK surgeon, so your mom says, "Gosh, I'm so proud of you." You know, yeah, I wrote a check for $5,000. So, but I personally don't do that. But a lot of surgeons do, mainly in LASIK and plastics. Those are the two areas that, you know, they need to advertise because there's a lot of competition out there. So let's go through some examples. Can you see this? Am I on your way? Okay, so this is an example of a Facebook page that I created called IQ Doctor for Ophthalmology Residents. It's designed to educate ophthalmology residents. We post some interesting cases. We've had this out probably for about 5 years. Anyone can actually post to it. Another page is I started this foundation for my mom. It's called the Juliet RP Vision Foundation. My mom was diagnosed with RP when I was a young child, and that's what inspired me to become an ophthalmologist. And so we started this foundation mainly to raise money for research grants. So we give out research grants to young ophthalmologists, and we also give out scholarships to visually impaired college students. And this is our 9th year now in existence. This is a picture, you can't see, this is my mom here. This is just last month, examining my mom. We're also putting on an event called Night for Sight in August in New Mexico. And we have Danelle Umstead. She's a Paralympic skier who's blind with RP, and she skis. She's a 2-time medalist, and she's training next year for the Olympics. Impressive person. She's going to be our keynote speaker. So I'm super excited about that. This is my audiobook called Ophthalmology Buzzwords. Raise your hand if anyone has bought this book. Okay? It's on sale today. No, I'm kidding. It's on sale in the back. So most of the proceeds from this book go to our foundation that we give out for research grants and scholarships. We don't make a lot of money, maybe $2 million a year. It's not a lot, but it's okay. Joking, totally joking. But this is an audiobook, 850 questions and answers on ophthalmology. And it sounds something like this. What is the differential diagnosis for optociliary shunt vessels? chronic glaucoma, meningioma, optic nerve glioma. So there are questions, and then I pause so you can think about the answer. Then I give you the answer. And from cornea, glaucoma, retina, totally awesome. It's fun. Also created a page called Pearls for Cataract and Refractive Surgery, just sharing tips on. I'm a cataract surgeon. I love to do cataract surgery, do a lot of torics and multifocals, and it's just fantastic. You can do the exact same thing. If you have an idea that you want to educate the patients or the public or other physicians, here's your opportunity to create this page and start educating people right now. I have a leadership book coming out early next year. It's called Focus on Your Passion, Not the Position. And the proceeds from this book, I want to create a scholarship for medical students who are strong leaders. And this is, if you want to talk about this leadership book later, we can talk offline. But I'm passionate about mentoring people and leadership. And we have our Yo leader here, Marie Louise, right? This is outstanding. So her job at this point is to promote others. You're all leaders in this room. It's your job to promote other people. You've arrived. You made it. So now help a student get into ophthalmology and help their career forward. So that was Facebook. That's still number one. Now we're going to switch gears and talk about LinkedIn and Doximity. Yes, sure. Mm-hmm. 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 Yes. Mm-hmm. I would do both. I mean, so if you had an opportunity to you guys know Sanjay Gupta, Dr. Sanjay Gupta? So I got a chance to meet him. I did some online media camera. I did a terrible job, but because he was there looking at me, making me feel nervous. But it was a program just like that. I would actually share, if you were ever on TV or radio, share it on your personal one so your friends and family can see it, but also post it on your professional Facebook page. Because how many other surgeons in your area have been on TV? Probably not many. So that immediately sets you apart as someone that you may not be a better surgeon, you just happen to be asked to be on TV. So I do both. So LinkedIn, who's on LinkedIn here? Raise your hand. LinkedIn? I think LinkedIn is growing so much. It's a great opportunity for us to have a professional network on LinkedIn. You can post things like you can with Facebook. LinkedIn is a great opportunity for you to educate other professionals. So if you have that in your heart that you love to teach and educate and mentor, I would actually start spending more time on LinkedIn and posting, eye diseases, new treatments for this or that. This is really good. Doximity, I believe, is only in the U.S. Is that correct? Okay. But I predict that's going to expand. Just quickly on Doximity, this is really good, by the way. This is growing quite a bit. And this is a way for us to communicate with other physicians very quickly. There's an app. I go on my phone. I'm like, I'm looking for an anesthesiologist. I'm looking for a pathologist in Rochester, Minnesota. Bam, there it is. There's their phone number. I can text them. My niece was diagnosed with leukemia, sadly, but she's doing great. She went to the Mayo Clinic, and so I went on my Doximity app, found the doctor that was taking care of her, sent him an immediate message, and I said, my niece gave me permission to talk to you, and he responded immediately. I'm like, there's no way I would have been able to connect that quickly, other than call Mayo, connect with the operator, contact the department. There's a lot of steps to actually get there. So this is a quick overview of some of the social media platforms: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and LinkedIn. Do you have a question? I would use the same page. Yes. So the question is, if you're trying to educate both patients and physicians, should you have two separate pages? The answer, in my opinion, is no. I'd have just one single page, and you can do both. That's what I do. I love to educate patients and physicians. I'm on Twitter and Facebook primarily. So I would just make one page. It's less work for you too. So Facebook, you can have unlimited posts. Twitter, there's a limitation on the number of characters you can have. Instagram and LinkedIn is also unlimited. But the type of platform, Facebook, I recommend having a personal and a professional. And Twitter, who's on Twitter here? Raise your hand. See several hands. Wow. Okay, probably half the group on Twitter. This is interesting. I'm going to share some data here from our company that we did some research. Instagram. Who raise your hand if you're on Instagram? Typically, this is the youngest group in the room here with their hands up. Put your hands up. Okay, we got a single lady over here. I still heard earlier. Okay. What's that? Oh, you're not single. I apologize. Okay. Well, it was that question earlier that threw me off. I don't know. Okay, so I got to try to embarrass at least one person here, and I think we've done a great job of that today. So these are the most popular social media pages right here that you can use: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and LinkedIn. I think LinkedIn is going to be the best professional networking site as of today. Instagram is more for the younger people, and define young. What's young? 20s? 20s, yeah, that's what I'd say. Who's on Snapchat here? Right here? Is that legal? I'm just kidding. You got two people? So I'm on Snapchat. My kids love Snapchat. So my kids are from 18 to 23, and they're all on Snapchat. So I don't get it necessarily, but I'm on it because I want to know it. I don't want this to actually pass me by. Okay? So on Snapchat, yes, there is. Snapchat actually just went public. They offered their initial public offering, or the IPO. And Snapchat, they're spending a lot of money on advertising. So if you're trying to get into that realm, you can get your face out there. But it's like 10 seconds of a short video or a short picture, then it disappears, and it goes away forever. But you can. My kids taught me that there's a way you can screen capture your screen, or and then you save it, and you post it on Facebook. Exactly. I've done that because you can make funny faces on Snapchat and have fun with it. So if you're not fun, then don't go on Snapchat. So, but what's interesting is when you screen capture the photo, it shows that you've done that, and the person that posted the picture knows that you did it. And I didn't know that. My kids taught me that. So if you're trying to copy like someone's picture, like, oh, I love that picture, it shows that you screen captured it. Interesting. So LinkedIn, LinkedIn, of course, is a professional networking site. I think this is really good, and it's growing. I've seen a lot more engagement in this in the last 2 years. So if you're trying to find an excellent professional networking site to educate professionals, start here with LinkedIn. Finishing up, here's some examples of some resources that you can use to educate other people. The Academy's iSmart website, there's a lot of great information. Red eye, what's a retinal detachment, high quality videos, photos, a lot of great information to educate the public. So this is a good public site. The One Network is excellent. I used to be the editor-in-chief of the One Network. Now I oversee it. This is excellent for educating fellow ophthalmologists. A video, an interview, an article. You have access to free journals as a member of the Academy. You can access numerous journals online: ophthalmology, AGO, Survey of Ophthalmology, and so on. IWiki is growing like crazy right now. So this is an excellent resource. This is open source. You do not have to log on to access IWiki, but you're going to see a lot of cool things come out from the Academy with IWiki. You're going to see a lot more images, more videos. We're working on an app as well, an educational app. So if you're in the basement of a hospital somewhere, but you need information very quickly on that article, that disease, that treatment, that concentration dose of the medication, it's going to be there at your fingertips very, very quickly through an app. So I'm super excited about that. We're also creating 1-minute videos, 60-second high-yield videos on surgery, from glaucoma to retina. We are moving into an age where our attention spans are very short. So you don't necessarily have time to watch the whole 20-minute video. And if you're doing a difficult case tomorrow morning and you haven't seen it in a while, but you want a trusted video source, you can go to the One Network. You can go to YouTube or iTube, but it takes a long time to comb through all those videos. You don't have 3 hours to watch 10 videos. So we're gonna take the time and vet all these videos for you and give you the best piece. Now, next, with these videos, oftentimes patients or physicians don't have time to watch the 3-minute video. They don't want to watch the whole video. So when we talk about a difficult surgery, can you name a difficult surgery that you've had lately? Someone give me an example of difficult surgery. Scleral fixation of a lens, okay, very good. So that scleral fixation of an IOL, I don't want to watch you making wounds, and I don't got time for that. I mean, my surgery starts in 10 minutes, right? So I'm running behind. I should have watched it last night. But instead of calling it a difficult surgery, I'm going to offer up a new concept. It's more like a difficult step or steps. So we're only going to highlight the difficult steps. And if you want to watch the whole video, you can still watch the whole video. But oftentimes as surgeons, we just want to see where the difficult steps are. Those are the most critical steps. So we're going to be highlighting that much more. You're going to see that come out. That's going to be launched this year on the One Network called 1 Minute Videos. You also want to promote other colleagues. So if you see a colleague who went to a conference and they spoke and you were there, comment on it. Share it on your page. Like, I attended this conference. I want to give a shout out to Dr. Scott, who did an outstanding job with his fascinating accent and, talking about whatever, okay? And then you want to have some fun videos. Throw a couple fun videos in there of a cat or a little dog or, something fun as well, because you want to be fun too, right? Some of you are not fun, I sense that, and that's okay. Yeah?
Share your picture with Andrew.
Yes, you can share my picture. Yeah. Actually, somebody's been stealing my pictures and creating their own Facebook profile, like on dating sites. Yeah. So just FYI, I'm married, okay? Yeah. Yeah. People have sent me emails and said, you know people are using your photo on a dating site and pretending that it's them. Well, good for them. That's great, So, just in case you see my picture on a dating site, that's not me, okay? So let's finish up. We're almost done. Let's finish up and talk about Twitter. Twitter, 140 characters or less. Use a username for people to easily remember and type. So try to use @Dr. Rob Melendez or @Rob Melendez MD. You want to avoid all these extra characters. Some people like to put a hyphen and an underscore. When you're on your computer, it's easy to do that. When you're on your phone, you got to hit Shift and you got to find that little special thing, right? That takes too much work. So you want to make it easy for people to find you and to type in your username. We're going to finish up with these last slides here. This is some data that we just pulled up from our company. These are the number of ophthalmologists and the year they joined Twitter. In 2007, 2 ophthalmologists joined Twitter. 2008, 9. The biggest jump was in 2009 at 56. But it's been declining. We only found 1 new ophthalmologist that joined Twitter in 2017. I'm sorry? This is international. This is everywhere on Twitter. You have access to everyone. These are only defined as active users. These are people who are actively using Twitter. If I were to show you the numbers, it's a little bit higher, but they created it, but then they didn't post, and so it looks like it's a dead account. But what we're finding is that there's people on Twitter, but they're just not posting. They're just consuming information. So one of our conclusions is that we're finding that people are consuming Twitter more than they're posting. So it doesn't look like they're very active. They're reading content. Twitter's an excellent way to obtain information very quickly. So for those of you who are not on Twitter, the way that it works is if you like, let's say 2 topics, a sports team and a news organization, you're only going to see information from that sports team and the news organization on your Twitter feed. And then that's all you're going to see. So the more people you follow, the more information that will actually show up on your news feed. Now, what do you do with this? Does this mean Twitter's dying? Not necessarily. This is an opportunity, a golden opportunity for you as ophthalmologists to to carve out your niche on Twitter and actually create a Twitter account and start educating patients or educating other physicians. So I'm going to give you a quick example from Dr. Dinah Sheba from California. She wrote, "What tips you should know about swimming in your eyes?" So she added these small little emojis, makes it fun. Hashtag ophthalmology, and then she provides the link, and she includes 2 photos. If she just wrote text without the emojis and no link, these are very good numbers, by the way. 12 reposts, 17 likes. Another one was on memory and aging, interesting research via Harvard and MIT. So she credits Harvard website, hashtag neurology, hashtag psychology, excellent photos. This is a lot more likes. Look at this. And if you look at the people that like these, which you can click on that and it'll show up all these people. They're all physicians. She's educating physicians. She's not just on social media sharing that she's having coffee. She does that too. And that's probably a different group that's following her. But I just wanted to draw your attention here. iSmart.org is an excellent resource for educational. I'm going to skip these. I just want you to know on Facebook, you can create coupons. Evenings are better to post on social media. People are on social media more after 6 o'clock at night. So that's a great time. Maybe in Spain, like after 10, I found. Oh my gosh. I mean, we've been going to bed late every single night, but we've been having fun. Lots of fun. So how do you grow your presence online, grow likes? You have to spend money on Facebook if you want more people to actually see you. If you post something, only 2 people are going to like it. Remember, we talked about that? You spend $5 or $10, those numbers can grow dramatically. I wouldn't spend money on every post, just on certain ones that you're trying to draw some extra attention to your business. Remember this. Social media is a marathon. It's not a sprint. You're not just trying to get 1,000 likes. You could if you wanted to within a week. You'd spend a lot of money. But just remember, it's a marathon, not a sprint. So just remember, Facebook is still the most popular social media site, followed by Instagram, and then Twitter. Google Plus, I just turned my account off because that's dying. It's practically dead. LinkedIn's actually growing. These numbers are actually higher than the slide shows. Pinterest, not a big fan. I'm on it, but I don't really use it. It's a way just to post photos, and my wife uses it for a lot of fun parties and decoration ideas and things like that. It's still useful. And then Snapchat is growing, but the core group really is 13 to 24 for Snapchat. So in conclusion, control your online reputation. You want to have a stellar website, create a professional Facebook page, identify those review sites, and make some cards. Let those patients know that you want to be reviewed. Either choose teaching patients or physicians or both, but you want to pick at least one today. Make up your mind. Say, I love teaching. I'm a mentor at heart. I'm going to teach patients. Or no, I'm going to teach other physicians, ophthalmologists and medicine docs and family docs and so on. And remember, Facebook is still king, so this is the place to actually start. You have to spend a little money, but you'll see a greater return on your investment. If you need to get a hold of me, this is my website, drrobmelendez.com. This is my email address. This is my Twitter account there. I want to thank you for your time and enjoy the rest of your conference. I'm going to open up for some questions. If you have to step out, I understand that. We're going to open up for some questions. And I will repeat the question.
You didn't mention research teams, and sometimes you potentially get into copyright issues if you want to post an article you've done if the journal's not prepared to allow you to do that. So could you talk about copyright issues?
So there was a question regarding copyright issues in reference to ResearchGate in particular or other sites. So you have to be very careful with copyright. If you can reference it, this is referenced from this or that, I think that's acceptable. But if you're trying to stay out of legal territories, it's best to get a copyright. Technically, you're not supposed to just snag photos off the website. You have to purchase those photos or own those photos, and our social media company actually gets copyright permission from photos. The only exception to that is when you're just sharing it. If you're just sharing from their page to your page, then you're not copying or stealing. You're sharing. It's different. It's a gray line, but it remains to be seen. Andrew.
Do you recommend using professional help to set up your own personal web page or Facebook page, or
And
should you do it on your own?
Andrew asked, do you recommend hiring a professional to manage this, or should you do it on your own? It depends. It depends. If you have time, do it on your own. If you don't have time, which a lot of companies, generally speaking, Coca-Cola, doctors, clinics, things like that, are just hiring, professional companies. Our particular company actually teaches people how to do it within 1 to 3 months, and then you can do it on your own.
I don't think it's the time really I'm worried about. It's the ability to know or perceive what should be posted and how you should design it and
Mhm.
things like that. So it's okay, more professional. Maybe we don't have that expertise.
Mhm.
to tell them.
Sure. If you don't feel like you have the expertise as far as what to post, how to post, then I would hire a company and have them show you how to do it. And then all of a sudden, you have some building blocks and you understand on how to do it. And you can learn very quickly. Some people enjoy it, so the people that enjoy it, I would encourage you to experiment, but just know there's certain rules. Facebook, there's certain rules and guidelines that you have to abide by with Facebook. And if you go out of those, they can shut your page down. And they shut one of my pages down once before because I didn't know that. And then so I had to write this long old response letter to get it back activated. So, for instance, we were doing some advertising for Botox and LASIK and things like that, and they said that I was showing graphic material. Graphic material? Okay, it was like faces, right? But it looked too graphic, and they said you're breaking Facebook guideline rules. We're shutting your page down. I'm like, so I sent the picture. And I'm like, this is not graphic. This is all medical. This is all medical stuff. But they thought that I was sharing graphic material, which I was not. So then they said, okay, that's acceptable. And this was at the beginning of when they just started with all the advertising. Facebook is getting very clever, and you can do a lot more. You can send money. You can buy products on Facebook. Um, it's expanding into new business realms, and it'll be even much easier for you to post. And they even give you tips now, which they never did before. Like, you may want to try this, or your ad is not running effectively. You should change it to a different mile radius, to 50-mile radius, or you should change this or change that. They would never give you hints before. We just learned that from trial and error. Now it's a much easier process, but it'll continue to improve, I predict. Other questions? Yes, sir.
Do you have any data? What's the return on investment? I mean, if you invest like $100 in Facebook, what do you get back? I mean,
Good question.
patients would be attracted by your Facebook page because, as far as I'm concerned, in Europe, people like they search for a physician online, but they're like not so trustful. They're like,
Mhm.
okay, he has a page, he has a Facebook page, but it's not necessarily what makes him make an appointment.
Sure, sure. So first of all, it's difficult to actually predict the return on investment. So it's like selling a car, and I don't know what it's like in Europe, but in America, car companies are running ads all day long, and it's like you get a headache, right? So, but on Facebook, you have an opportunity to just gently educate. You don't want to sell. You want to educate, sprinkled in with just a little bit of your services that you offer. I mean, I offer cataract surgery. I offer this or that, or maybe you're implanting one of the newest glaucoma implants, and you want to educate people. You're not really trying to sell it, but you're educating that you're the first surgeon in the area to implant this. Like, wow, that's fantastic. Remember, Facebook is a marathon, not a sprint. So you're slowly just adding things, and you're building that digital footprint, because the more you put on your professional page, when you Google your name, that information is going to come up on the top of the page. When you Google my name, my Facebook page sometimes comes up before my website. 5 years ago, it was always website, and then maybe a review site. Because I put so much on my professional Facebook page, it's on the first page of Google. And I didn't spend that much money on that. Relatively low cost. Yes, sir.
How do you deal with social media trolls and people who make complaints on your Facebook?
So how do you deal with social media trolls and those individuals who make negative comments on your site? It's rare. I mean, I've been doing this for about 10 years, literally. I speak on social media every year at the academy. It's rare. Yelp's a little different. That's a different beast, because sometimes you get concerned, well, is this a real review or somebody just make it up? The company I shared, Credential Protection, it's a verified review site. So it goes to another party first to get verified, that we got to verify who you are. And Yelp and those other sites are doing better now, because people were just, your competitor would go on there and write something, or someone who disliked you would go on there and write you and really slam you terribly. And then there's mechanisms now in process where you can respond to Yelp and ask them, this is not legitimate, if you will. But there's been some really bad stories too, where physicians have been targeted by certain people. That's a different beast. That's a different question. That's going to require legal action, and then you have to hire a professional online reputation company at that point to sort of rebuild and sort of recreate your online reputation. So the other advantage of doing a mission trip and volunteering and teaching and learning, when something negative comes up, your positives are so high, so you have so many that it outweighs the one or two negatives. And patients understand that we're human, we're not perfect, but when they see that disparity, the number of reviews with just one or two negatives, they'll oftentimes disregard. And the Stanford article is the one that actually showed that you do want a few negatives. You don't want just all 5.0s. That looks fake, actually. Mm-hmm. That's correct. That's excellent. Did everyone hear that? So on Google, you can actually set up under Google Alerts, anytime your name is mentioned online, it'll send you an email and alert you that someone has used your name online. So that's an excellent point. Thank you for that. So the question is, let's say you have a Facebook page and a Twitter page. Do you link those two pages and have the same content? A lot of people do that, but it's recommended that you create content separately for each social media site, because, like for instance, on Facebook doesn't necessarily use hashtag as much as Twitter. Twitter uses a hashtag, like hashtag ophthalmology or hashtag SOE, whereas Facebook is trying to catch up to that, so it's better to create it separately in each to make it look better.
That's just a comment. I trained in the UK, and thank you for your talk. 'Cause
Thank you.
This is a completely alien concept to me.
Mhm.
I've never really considered it, so appreciate it.
You're welcome.
And it's made me think, because I don't have a professional page. I'd be interested to know, do you add your doctor friends as personal friends, or do you keep your private Facebook very, very family and private?
So the question is in reference to keeping your personal and private page, personal and professional page separate, and befriending other doctors. If those doctors are my friends, yes, they're going to be my friends. But if we're really just acquaintances, I do not friend them on Facebook, because I mean, if we're not talking now that I went on a trip, or they know my family, or I see them in the operating room and they don't ask for my family face to face, I don't want them to know about my family online.
I ask because I don't have one. I've got a lot
Sure.
of people I meet who I add, and then I feel like I shouldn't probably put everything I think on my personal page.
I agree with that. Yes.
Because I don't really know those people.
So there's advantage that you create a professional page and say, oh yeah, like my professional Facebook page, and then if you become friends, then add them to your personal Facebook page is what I would recommend. Yeah. Last question.
I would just remind people that sometimes you need to look through your Facebook and defriend. I'm serious. I mean, I'm from the countryside. I have friends on my Facebook account, but 20 years since I saw them, and they start commenting on some of my professional things, and that isn't right.
Mhm.
Clean it up. You never see people. They will never find out that you disfriended them. Because you just not appear on their Facebook content. So clean it up.
Okay, very good. Thank you guys for joining us today. Have a great day. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Really,
Thank you.
good. And we had a really good time.
Would you mind taking a picture of me?
Yeah,
Please?
sure, please.
Yeah. I'm going to put it up here. I'll I'll change it in a second.
Guys, we've got the video sessions now, okay? So have coffee and stuff. Whoever wants to stay on, please do.
You're welcome. Yes, sir. You're welcome. Thank you.
It's hard.